For many of us, our largest financial asset is our home. And so I think it's critically important that we know that there's a huge increase in a fraud where people are taking control of the deed of our home and we don't even know it. So in today's video, I want to share with you how this is happening. I'm going to give you some examples of it happening, and then more importantly, what we can do to protect ourselves. So the other day I was on YouTube and I came across this video where a stranger takes ownership of a $4 million home in Raleigh. And this was reported by Eyewitness News 11, ABC News, also in Raleigh. And despite the homeowner being up to date on all of his taxes and everything else, he discovered, the person here discovered that the deed to his home was no longer in his name. He found out that somebody had made a false warranty claim deed against his home and basically tried to steal it from him. And what he found out, and unfortunately, regardless of what state you live in, we're all likely in a very similar situation where the registrar that records deeds, they have no duty to authenticate the documents. So it's super easy for somebody to file a fraudulent deed transfer. And unfortunately, even if it's after it's reported to the county, to the registrar's office, here's a direct quote from the homeowner that had the fraud perpetrated against them. They say there's absolutely nothing they can do to reverse this. Once it's filed, the only solution is to go hire a private attorney. And the quote that this gentleman got for that was $8,000. And according to North Carolina law, the Register of Deeds does not have a duty to verify the legal sufficiency of a deed when it's presented for registration or validity of the notary stamp. So from this news report, and I'm going to share more, how do you protect yourself? Many counties have a service where they can alert you that this is happening. Now, that doesn't correct the problem, but at least you know the problem has happened. Now, let's jump into an article by Realtor.com. The title of the article is Deed Fraud is on the Rise, and here's how to protect your home. And the article says that it's a prevalent form of fraud, and it appears to be on the rise. That unfortunately is devastating to all of us as homeowners. And 25 years ago, it was really hard to pull off a scam like this because it was hard to fake the documents that you need. But according to an attorney whose last name is Fleck, in his practice, and before that as a prosecutor in the Los Angeles District Office, Fleck has dealt with scores of cases of home title theft. And in one case, he's even seen an elderly homeowner evicted from her own house of 25 years with her equity wiped out after crooks forged foreclosure documents. I mean, it's just incredible that this exists, right? It seems so antiquated. It seems like that there should be something like title insurance. That in fact, we'll get there. There's something like that, but we should know that title insurance protects us from fraud in the title before we've bought in the house, but it doesn't protect us after we've purchased the house. Now, I'm not an insurance expert, and you should talk to your own insurance person, and this isn't financial advice, but given the importance of our home, I wanted my viewers to know that this is going on. So let's continue with this article by Realtor.com. Okay, how to protect your home against theft. A growing number of U.S. counties offer a free service that allow residents to register their names with local officials that are actually doing the deed recording. And then if any documents are filed include your name that you've put on file, the county will alert you and let you know. There's also similar paid services that offer an alert, but both kinds of title monitoring alert the homeowner, you and I, only after the fraud has occurred, and now we have a problem. Right now we've got a headache on our hands. Once a phony title is filed, the only way to resolve the issue is through a lawsuit to establish true ownership. It's crazy, right? We have to prove, even though there's been fraudulent documents filed, even though the register probably should not have accepted those, there should be some way to prevent these from being filed in the first place. But boy, we've got a headache if that's happened. And the only way to establish true ownership is with a lawsuit that typically requires hiring an attorney, and an attorney that has a specialty in this. So let's go back to the attorney that was interviewed in this article, Fleck, and he says the only true protection against title theft is through a specific type of policy that I'm about to share with you. And it's known as a homeowner's policy of title insurance. And the article goes on to say this is not to be confused with something similar, which is called an owner's policy of title insurance. So according to Fleck, who's an attorney, the type of insurance we're looking for, and I'm not an insurance expert, not financial advice, I'm not licensed to sell insurance, but according to this article, we should talk to our insurance company about a homeowner's policy of title insurance. And Fleck goes on to say, under covered risk, the policy should include language to the effect that someone else claims to have rights affecting your title because of forgery or impersonation. And according to the policy template provided by the American Land and Title Association, Trade Association. And while traditional title insurance policies protect us from fraud that occur before the purchase of the property, the homeowner's policy adds protection for home title theft after you own the property, according to Fleck. Again, the name of this type of insurance is it's called homeowner's policy of title insurance. And he goes on to say this is important because if you're a victim of title theft, a quit claim deed, which is often how these are done by quit claim deed, fraud or any other type of deed fraud, you just make a claim to your title insurance company and they handle it for you. So that's how to eliminate the headache that's associated with it. And hopefully one of the things that comes out of the increasing commonness of this happening, the increasing frequency of this type of fraud, is counties and people that register our titles, the deed to our house, hopefully they change things so that any Tom, Dick, and Harry cannot just come and file a quit claim deed on our home, and all of a sudden we've got a $5,000-$10,000 headache. Or in the case of this elderly woman that had lived in her home for 25 years, she actually got evicted from her home. We don't want that to happen to you. I don't want that to happen to you. So it seems like this is something that is worthwhile looking into. And another thing that's worthwhile looking into and considering is when we plan on retiring. And that's why I made this video here. Why retiring at 65 might be a big mistake. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in that one. Bye-bye.